Alright, so now we've seen the basic structure of a website, we're going to create one for ourselves. So let's close down these examples and go back over to our Hello World. Now we don't want to call this Hello World anymore because we want to create a new file. So I'm going to use File and then Save As. And I'm going to call it My Web Page. You can call it whatever you like, but I'm going to go for something nice and straightforward like that. Now, very quick challenge for you. Can you make My Web Page appear in your browser? Go for it. I hope you managed that. All you needed to do was go back to your desktop, open up the Complete Web Developer course, go to Chapter 1 HTML, and then double-click on My Web Page. And there it is. Of course, the actual content is the same as what we had before, but we'll change that very soon. So let's close that down. And we'll close the Hello World tab as well, because we don't need that anymore. So just to be absolutely sure that we're editing the right file here, let's get rid of Hello Rob and then change the text to just hi. And then second mini challenge, can you make the word hi and the exclamation mark appear on your browser? I hope you managed that. You just need to save in brackets or your text editor and then refresh this page here. So I used Command or Control S to save, and then either click the arrow or Command R on a Mac or F5 on a PC. Right, so now we know that we're working with our right document. Let's create an HTML file that looks roughly like the example that we had on example.com. Now I'm actually going to start with our HTML tag. So notice that my text editor here nicely predicts what I want to say, which is really, really handy. So I'm going to select HTML there and then end the tag. And what the text editor also does is creates an end tag for me because it knows that whenever I need a starting tag, I also need an ending tag. So that's fantastic. I'll just put a few enters in between those two to give me a nice gap to work with. Great. Notice I haven't put the doc type at the top there like we had on example.com. It's not strictly necessary, but feel free to add it in if you want to. It definitely won't do any harm. Now, can you remember the next section that comes in a HTML document? It is, of course, the head. Now notice that I've indented the head there. I've done that by pressing the tab button, and that just allows everything to look a little bit nicer, and you can then see very quickly that anything that's been indented here is inside the head section. Doesn't look great now maybe, but when we add a fair bit of code, it will become clear that indenting makes your code look a lot prettier and much, much easier to read. Then do you remember the next section that we had? After the head comes the body. So let's enter our body tag, and then we get our closing body tag created automatically for us. And now we've got the basic structure of our web page. So we've got HTML and then closing HTML, head, closing head, and body, closing body. Fantastic. What do you think that'll look like if we try and actually see it? I've saved it here, and now I'm going to refresh. It's actually completely empty because we don't have any content here. So, very quick challenge. Can you add some content which will then appear on this page? Go for it. I hope you added the content inside the body section. So I'm going to indent my text again using tab, and then I'm going to save that and refresh there. My first web page. Fantastic. Notice that I haven't used paragraph tags there. If you did use paragraph tags, then well done, but they're not, again, strictly necessary. It will work without them, but we'll definitely use them once we're comfortable with them later on. And then my final mini challenge for you is to add a title to the page. Can you remember from the last video how we do that? I hope you got it. It's inside the head section, and we just use the tag title like that, and then we can have whatever title we want. I'll just call it my web page. There we go, and then we'll save that and refresh, and you can see the content hasn't actually changed at all, but up here in the tab we can now see my web page. And that's as far as we're going to go for now, other than a little bit of tidying up, just so we're not arbitrarily putting in spaces. And there we go. Notice I haven't got the extra meta tags there. You're very welcome to put them in, but I'm going to keep things simple. They're not absolutely necessary, and at this point they don't really add anything to our web page, so I'm just going to keep what we absolutely need and nothing else. So there we go. Your first complete web page. Congratulations. In the next video, we'll see how we can add a little bit of styling to our page by using something that we saw in example.com, the header tag.